Hello, this is the second take. It's almost 2 p.m. right now. There was just no way I could be able to show off the rest of these games, and it would have been the afternoon. And I guess I'm okay with doing this. Wait, I have to sneeze. Wait, I'm not hearing me sneeze. Well, anyway, next up is the N64 games. American N64 games. So, you have Diddy Kong Racing. This is one of those games that a lot of people really like. I remember playing it as a kid, and I didn't get it until several years ago, and I did beat it, but I think it's decent. Blast Corps, this is made by Rare. It's a little complicated, but Excitebike 64, Bomberman 64. This was a very stressful game to beat. I didn't 100% it, but I did get all the gold chips, which is a nightmare to do. Arguably the most underrated N64 game. Brief story, this was actually a game I remember playing at a friend's house. And I remember I didn't remember what that game was, but Mischief Makers. And I didn't find out about it until, I think, 7 years ago? Shadowrun. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of N64 games that I don't really have a lot to say about it because, again, I went through like this N64 phase this year where I just kept buying so many of them, and an all-time favorite, Super Mario 64. I think it's fine. I think the two reasons why I don't like it as much as a lot of people do is because I didn't really finally play it until I was 17. And the other reason being that I 100%ed every time I've ever beaten it. This is my favorite Bomberman game. I'm not really a big fan of the Bomberman series just because it's just really annoying. I just don't like the gameplay. But this one kind of pushes away from that tradition while still having what makes it a Bomberman game. Clay Fighter, not the expensive one, no, but yeah, I put a lot of time into that. There's Perfect Dark. This is one game I need to come back to because Vinny recently he did a live stream saying that's actually his favorite Rare game arguably, and I really need to play it again. I know I heard the Xbox 360 version, or I can't remember. It's like the better one to play. Tetrasphere, a very weird N64 game. Kind of hard to understand how to play it. Golden. Mega Man 64 is actually one of my favorite games. And it actually shows the date that I actually got it. My dad wrote this down, July 29, 2009, and it was only for $20. Now it's $80. It seems like a lot of my games just out of nowhere spiked because I have a lot of video games like GameCube and stuff, and they just kind of increased in price. Including this game, I think. I didn't pay much for this. I got this like 9 years ago when I heard they were making a Kirby 20th anniversary collection. And when I saw the games on there, I was like, wait, they made a Kirby game for N64? So I bought the game before the collection came out. Got Mario Golf. This game is actually pretty good, but the controls are nowhere near as good as, like, the sequel, Toadstool Tour. Shadowgate, one of the most expensive N64 games I bought. This is... How many Shadowgate games did they make? They made one for NES. Glover, which at the time, I'm actually really interested in playing this. What doesn't surprise me was Mori actually did a stream on it, and it didn't get any views, but it doesn't surprise me because that game is very, very obscured and specific. Conquers Bad Fur Day. Weirdly enough, I have not beaten this game yet. I've had this game for so many years, and I even had this game when I was a kid. My mom took it away, which you can guess why. Banjo-Kazooie. That's a great game, but has one problem with it. I'm kind of showing all the good games because there's a lot of crap I'm looking at right now. Ocarina of Time. Got Yoshi's Story. I think arguably the most expensive N64 game is technically a Yoshi Story game that says not for resale. Going Quackers, this is one of those my dad games. I feel like some people could relate to that, like games that you have a lot of memories with, but not because you have memories playing it, just because you have memories watching your dad play it, or maybe someone else. Chameleon Twist. I grew up more with the second game, which is too expensive now. And even if the Japanese version is cheaper, the models are different. Lode Runner 3D. I actually bought this game for a very specific reason. It's because there's one particular song that I really liked, and I bought it just for that. Same thing with this game, International Superstar Soccer 64. Geez, that's a mouthful. International Superstar Soccer 64. There's a song on there that's extremely good. Okay, give me a second. I'm gonna move some of these games, and because I just want to get to some of the crappy games, because there's plenty of games that I really just have nothing to say about it. Like, you have a racing game, and I don't know what this is. Extreme XG2. I remember I played it when. How expensive was this? Wow. I didn't realize the date is on it when my dad got it. July 19, 2012, for 99 cents. 99 cents. Oh, I didn't realize the date was on this. July 10th, 2003. It's a Bug's Life. It's actually one of my oldest games. Yeah, obviously I played a lot of this game. Is it good? It's pretty silly. Got a dirt bike game? Got a wrestling game? Did he write down the date for all of these games? Jeez. Oh my god. 99 cents. That is crazy to think that he actually got them for that cheap. I wouldn't be surprised now. It costs like $5 to get this. Army Men Sword Heroes 2. Got Foot. This game, I can't believe to say that I actually did beat this game. It's a fighting game. Not a good one. But hey, it's 99 cents. Jeez. Alright, let's grab more pile of trash. I know people like sports games, but I just never cared for them. Unless if it's like as crazy and creative as like Mario sports games, I'm just not interested. You got Madden 2000. Oh, there's Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. I remember playing that as a kid. That was pretty decent. Got a baseball game. Got a golf game, which for a second I actually thought I had 2 copies of. Got another baseball game. Yeah, but is this another baseball game? I think so. That's you know, this is Knockout Kings. I don't even know what these games look like. I just got boxing, hockey. Alright, I'm gonna cut it because all of this trash is in the way. Well, most of it's not trash. Okay, on to the next games. Another game I got recently, Hybrid Heaven. It's like a fighting RPG. It's definitely one of those multi-genre games. It's definitely a little gimmicky with the combinations. Star Fox 64. This is definitely a great N64 game. Mario Kart 64. One of those games that it's aged, mainly the controls. I think graphically I still like it. I played it 3 years ago. But the controls are a little harder than I remembered. Pilot Wing 64. I guess this and Super Mario 64 were actually the 2 launch titles when the N64 came out. Namco Museum 64. Again, I mainly bought this because it seemed semi-interesting to build up my N64 collection. Castlevania 64. I beat this recently, but I wasn't really happy about the videos, even though I couldn't tell you how many hours I wasted on just making videos and just saying, no, I'm not happy with this. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people that made stuff did that. Majora's Mask, one of my favorite games of all time, and I want to replay it again. It's been a very long time. It's one of those situations where I'm worried that it's been so long that I'm worried that how I feel about the game would change, but we'll see. Got Super Smash Bros., the first one, and I still think it's a lot of fun. It doesn't matter that there's 12 characters. Pokemon Stadium 2. My friend came over recently, we actually played this game. It's a lot of fun. It's way superior to the first one by a long shot. And probably the most, like, people usually don't talk about Jet Force Gemini, but I think what's even more obscured and lesser than that game is Mickey Mouse USA. Made by Rare, it's a racing game. It's not great, but it's good, and I remember the stages are very appealing. Yeah, I do have another copy of Jet Force Gemini. See, but this one I got several years ago. This is the one I have been raised with. My dad got this in October 29, 2003. Why is the sticker gone? Honestly, I think when he bought this game, the sticker, like, it didn't even say this, I think. I think he literally bought this out of curiosity because it was probably maybe like $1, and come to find out it was this. I actually bought this for $5. This game is one of those games that, if it wasn't for one thing, it would actually be a great N64 game. Aside, like, it's laggy and, the controls are a bit choppy, but the setting and the weapons and graphics, it's really good. But there is one thing that really ruins it. Pokemon Snap. I actually have 2 copies of this game. I don't know. Oh, it's over there. I don't want to get over there because it's like, it's like those are the duplicates. Is there anything? There it is. That's what's on my screen. Yeah, Pokemon Snap. I'm saving this game for last for obvious reasons. Pokemon Stadium. What's interesting with this game is that even though my parents didn't really show the game, you can hear the music in the background, and I'm holding an N64 controller, but there actually is footage of me technically playing Pokemon Stadium 1 when I was 4. I still have it. Donkey Kong 64, a game that I've only beaten once, and I 100%ed it, so I actually do think it's good, but Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Haven't played this, but I've heard good things about it. Oh my god, $3. Man, N64 games were cheap in 2012. Wave Race. This game is actually really decent. I realize I'm taking forever. No wonder it's going to take forever for me to go through these games. Banjo-Tooie. I actually conquered this game a couple of years ago, and it's nowhere near as good as the first one, but I still think it's good. It's one of those games where it's really good in the beginning, but then once you get to, like, middle, it starts to dip really hard. 1080p snowboarding. And then this is the most expensive N64 game I ever bought, and that is Star Soldier Vanishing Earth. This is actually, to my knowledge, this and Dazemon 3D are the only 2 space shooter N64 games, to my knowledge. And the other one's more like a creator kind of game, so really this is the only space shooter game. And it's a part of the Star Soldier series. It's actually really good. It's difficult. And I saved literally the best for last, my favorite game, Paper Mario. Not just my favorite N64 game, my favorite game of all time. It's this and Mega Man X are the only 2 games where I just can't really think of any negative thing to say about it. Alright, so that is the N64 games. It took a little bit longer than I thought just because I kept rambling on, but next up I'll go into the Super Nintendo games. So see you then.